Hello everybody, my name's Karl Largan. The theme that we're exploring through spoken word is being inspired. I have a wealth of people who have inspired me, heroes, heroines and people who have generally piqued my interest. I'll be reading a poem about a handful of people and one seaside town that has inspired me, if only to write this incongruous love story. The first person is poet Dame Edith Sitwell, fascinating character whose book I thoroughly enjoyed. She wrote, "Poetry ennobles the heart and the eyes and unveils the meaning of all things, upon which the heart and the eyes dwell. It discovers the secret rays of the universe and restores us to forgotten paradises." Second person is the actor and director Charles Lawton. You may remember him from such roles as Captain Bligh, Henry VIII and The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He said, "I have a face like the behind of an elephant's," but he also said, "They can't censor the gleam in my eye." The third person is the so-called godmother of punk, Patti Smith. She wrote, "For life is the best thing we have in this existence, and if we should desire to believe in something, it should be a beacon within. This beacon being the sun, sea and sky, our children, our work, our companions, and most simply, the embodiment of love." And the final person in this quadriangle of love is John Lydon, whose words still resonate today with chilling fearfulness. "I am an antichrist, I am an anarchist, don't know what I want, but I know how to get it. I want to destroy the passerby." The place of inspiration is an unnamed town, an unnamed seaside town, and it's a stick of rock for anyone who can guess where it is. It is the birthplace of the first two characters and the place I was lucky enough to see the other two characters on separate occasions in concert. This is The Sea of Possibilities with Dame Edith Sitwell and Charles Lawton, as played by Patti Smith and John Lydon. The donkeys were trekking down the valley road, staring, eyes down, shifting to work. The captain and the dame stopped to watch from the promenade. They stood arm in arm, uncomfortable in the burgeoning sun. Noticing the names etched into dusty fur, the captain read them out aloud, his lips plump with disdain. "Parsley, sage, rosemary, thyme, harumph." The dame smiled inwardly at their long faces and dirty teeth. They took tea on the grand balcony. She extricated sugar from the silver bowl with silver tongs and sipped her infusion from bone china, finger-cocked. He picked and gnawed at a chicken wing and wiped his mouth on his sleeve. The seagulls skirked and circled and as she steered him away through their screeching eddies. "To the castle," she eased, keen to stand upon the promontory. He paused between a lattice-windowed cafe. "I used to work there when I was 17, he said. "Ha!" Her sharp mock stopped his clock of time when round the corner he found himself in the alley where many moons in puddles ago the older waitress had kissed him in the rain. He said nothing, just let the memory rinse through him, turned his bicorn sideways, emphasised his sea swagger and set a pace toward the headlands. Upon the grass-tufted top the breeze blew steeper, buffeting each to one another. Through his spyglass they scoured both bays, the white-laced houses Coming in from all directions, the dapple sparkles that skimmed from ring fingers and sugared surf. They watched a Victorian dog skip noisily between lighthouse and keeper, a sound delay in the air. The dame sniffed saltily and tried to measure an acre or more from the sea strand to the salt water. The captain wiped his brow with a white handkerchief and cleared his sinuses. Later, spurred on by a tour of the rotunda, they went in search of dinosaur prints. The tide was turning and they were obliged from overflowing rock pools towards the abandoned beach huts, paint peeled from fading days. Absorbed, they photographed each other, draped over rust-coloured rails. The clouds fell past and he fumbled with an unfamiliar shutter and frozen shoulder. "Horseshit," he whined, and click, he captured her scowl. In the brooding afternoon light, he commandeered a rowing boat. The captain guided the dame aboard as the water sloshed at his boots. He waded and launched, then rowed in ungainly fashion. His back hunched, he toed and froed as the sea tossed into their matted hair. To the wetwood knock and creak of oar and rowlocks, they clung to the coastline until, "Here," she indicated with the crook of her finger, the snug inlet, and with her black skirts hitched high, they ploughed to the shore. Leaving the boat untethered, they trampled up and around the cliff path. They scanned a lonely church with a ship's bell in its tower. "Ha!" they huffed in unison. Then hand in hand they traced through tilled fields littered with flint, clambered back down a crumbling path, scratched and snagged by gauze and thorn. Once down on their exiled beach, they looked back across the bay. They combed the stones of scraps of chalk lay like unwritten notes, found the weathered wreck of a ship stuck fast in the sand. Breathing deep of briny air, they packed their day's trunk full, kissed in the wind, and it mattered not that they found no footprints. Thank you very much.